Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the listening public. Tonight is the August 31st, 2016 meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, and we have no petitioners. This is going to be hopefully a very short meeting. It will include voting for a new chair and vice chair, and going over the bylaws and approval of the minutes, and that should be it. And the next meeting will be September 28th, 2016. And Patrick, would you lead the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I think we can skip the preamble tonight, Jillian.
Tommy?
All right. I'm going to open up nominations for officers. We're going to go right into elections.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a nomination of Patrick to be chairman of the ZBA.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And do we have a nomination for vice chair?
I'd like to move Rich as vice chair.
Second.
You
You can't
you
vote.
can't.
I can't.
You
No,
can't.
you
No,
can't.
you're an alternate. You can't.
I'm good. I make a motion
You make a motion for Fran? Okay. I was going to say, I thought someone was making.
for Rich, vice chair.
All right. I make a motion, and Tony's making a motion for Fran?
Yes.
All right, do I have a second?
I second each of those motions. I think it's, as the new chair, I think, I don't know, I think both folks have the ability to hold the seat. I know Fran's held it as well as held chair, and I know that, so I know her experience, and I know Rich has also been very active in the board and very much wanting to lead as well. So I guess we'd have to.
I just think it's time for the younger generation to step up to the plate and take charge.
Tony? Any
I believe
comments?
that that's true, but I still feel that Fran can do the job. She was there before. She'll do it again. Nothing against Rich.
Oh, there's no question that Fran can do it.
Yeah.
I just think it's time that we got the
There's
younger
no-
generation in here.
There's nothing like old blood to keep going. Person from the old school.
Fran or Rich, do you have anything Rich, is there anything you'd like to add?
I am going to completely abstain from this conversation.
Better old-blooded, bad blood.
All right. Fran, is there anything you want to add?
No, other than Rich, you and I want to step out of the room and let them discuss it.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it's.
We're all friendly here. It's not, there's
No,
not.
you don't have to leave. No, Fran, you don't have to leave.
I don't
No,
want any,
You don't need to step
no,
out.
you don't have to step out of the room.
I
No.
don't want any,
Okay.
prejudice one way or the other, so.
No,
No, there's no reason.
just a minute.
I figure it'd make it easier if we just
Yeah.
stepped out and you three could,
Is there anything you want to add, Rich?
You're not gonna step out?
Do you want to step out so we can talk?
No.
All right. Well, Fran, till the board's adjourned, you're still the chair, so.
throw it
I'm
in my
just
lap,
trying,
huh?
I'm just trying to help facilitate things here, but you're still the chair until the board, after the meeting, so.
I just don't want, I really don't want to say anything. I don't want to say one way or the other on anything. I want to leave it up to the rest of the board.
Call a question.
Call?
Call the roll. If there's no more discussion, if there is, we can continue on.
Okay. Unless there's any other discussion, I'm going to call for a vote. Okay. All in favor of Rich as the vice chair for the ZBA, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor of Fran, say aye.
I'm
Aye.
abstaining, number
And
one.
I say aye. And so it's 2-1. Fran is be the ZBA vice chair for the 2016-2017
Can we call that
calendar
one
year.
too, so we know what the numbers are?
Sorry?
Call Fran, we did Rich.
Oh, we did Rich. Rich was 1, 2,
2-1 and abstain.
2, 1 and abstain, and then Fran was
2.
2, 1, and 2, yeah, abstain,
And I
sorry.
It was just the reverse.
If you could follow that.
Anybody else? All right. Congratulations, Fran.
Thank
No,
you, changing of the guard.
Just leave it the way it is. Leave it the way it is.
No, that's
No,
your
yeah,
name.
that's your name.
It's not
Oh,
a
that's
title.
just, yeah, okay.
Stay up there.
Go, take this chair then.
No, you're still, it's still your meeting, Madam Chair.
I don't think so. You've just been voted in.
Okay,
So
so that
you
being.
go-
Now I'm going to leave the room.
Any discussion points? I did have something that I want to bring up for the bylaws that I want to discuss. I wanted to, I would like to discuss, it's open to discussion, obviously. We haven't had the issue yet, but just in regards to timing, I want to make sure that or even see what people's thoughts are about having in the bylaws something that you need to, in order to be present for a meeting, you should be seated by 5 minutes before the meeting or before the first case is read. Just because I was watching, I know that when I first joined the ZBA a long time ago, I actually walked in as a member late. And it was one of the attorneys was not too happy about the fact that I had shown up late and was sitting in on hearing. And at the time, the chair was Dick Barry, and Dick had said that no, I was not voting, even though I was a sitting member, because I had came in late to that particular case, that I was not able to vote on that case because I had come in late. There is nothing, so it's something that's always kind of been in the back of my mind. I've never brought it up. I don't know, maybe, does anybody else think that maybe putting something like that, you know, if you're not there when it starts, when the first case is read, then you're kind of out for the entire meeting.
Well, may I make a statement?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Well,
I think you're right, because by that time, we've already seated a alternate to sit in on that case. So we shouldn't pull the alternate out since they've already started hearing the case. That wouldn't be fair to them or the petitioner at that point to have someone new walk in and have to fill them in on everything.
Your thoughts?
I think that we should implement something, but I think that if someone shows up late and or starting, that someone maybe should just hold off until the first petition is out, and then on the second petition, reevaluate.
Well, yes, then the full-time member that had come in late can sit down on the next petition. But on the first one, if we've already started discussing it or the petitioner reading it, I think whoever the full-time member is should be seated in the audience and wait till that petition is over and done with, and then come take their place over here.
Yeah, because it's not fair to the petitioner.
That's right.
So we need to put that in the bylaws? Or- It was something that always is in the back of my mind. I guess I just bring it up now, given. Oh, sorry.
If the petitioner's reading what they've already presented to us, that's something that we have ahead of time. And so if I walk in 2 minutes late and Lenny has been appointed to sit for me, but I'm walking in, I'm already up to speed because I've read all the information that's come in. And the petitioner is essentially reading what they've already prescribed. I think it's up to the individual board member to decide whether they are in a position to make a decision or not make a decision. And if I were coming in at the tail end of it, I would certainly sit there and say, I'm not gonna decide on this, I'm gonna recuse myself until the next one. But if I'm coming in a minute late, I don't think I would do that.
And I guess when I did it, I mean, I just started, and so knowing the etiquette of the board was a little, I didn't know all the etiquette of the board, so I think that it just from, even if the chair is read in the petition and the petition's starting, my personal opinion is that if you come in, even if it's a minute late or 2 minutes late or whatever the case may be, I think you should sit in the audience and just wait till that petition's done, and then approach for the next petition. And I think of it, because when I think back on it, it's like I stepped in, and I probably shouldn't have, and out of respect for the attorney that was speaking at the time, and out of respect for the petitioner, I probably shouldn't have just, came in and just sat in on the petition. This was
But again, I
making
think
good
it's a
development.
personal decision of the board member as to where they are in the process and whether they're capable of making a decision.
Okay.
Actually, I do have a question.
And I have a statement also when you're.
All right, yeah.
My question is that if I'm correct, the board cannot request someone recuse themselves. So the person has to, isn't that the case? Someone has
It's a
to
personal
legally.
decision.
Yeah, so I guess the question then is that enforceable?
I think it's the decision of the board member and the alternate. I mean, when I was chair, and I remember one time, I forget who it was, Lenny was the alternate, and he was replacing a full-time board member. The board member came in, and then the discussion was, hey, do you want to stay or do you want to go? It's one or the other, so. I don't think there's any problem there, but I see Pat's idea that, if he's in the middle of if he's 10 minutes late and the guy's already talking, then it's a different story.
So what's
Mr. Chairman.
what's
So
the
that's,
minutes that we do?
and that's why I was saying, instead of saying, okay, is it a minute, is it 2 minutes, is it 10 minutes? I was saying, I was just saying, to make it easy, if you're not seated when the petition is read in, whether or not you have prior knowledge because you received the information ahead of time, I think that you should just sit down in the audience and just, and wait till the petition is, because it's already been read in and it's already started. And I think that's the line, instead of saying, oh, wait, is it a minute? Oh, wait, is it 2 minutes? Or, oh, yeah, you could probably just get in because it's just the first bullet
And that's where I go
point.
to the decision of the board member.
Of course, you gotta have respect for the persons who are.
That's right.
Right, yeah, because it's not easy for everyone to get up there and
That's right.
to speak. Yeah.
All right, number one, I think this should be clarified. I don't think there should be a gray area on this.
That's why I was, yeah, I
Number
agree.
one. Number two, you've started the petition. You have the petitioner speaking before you. The full-time member comes in, whether it's just the first part of the reason why they want this petition. It's confusing to the petitioner to have a board member changed, even if it's in the beginning. And you don't want any discussion of, gee, do you want me to sit in, or do you want to sit in front of people, in front of the public audience? You don't want to show that type of actions.
I'm just looking for organization. I just don't want to, because it is something that, whether people watch the ZBA or they TiVo it or whatever they do with the ZBA, I just don't want it to look like, I'd rather have it flow a little more smoothly and just be, I think it's easier between petitions when people are up and walking around for the board member who, if they're sitting in the audience, to step up and say, hey, I'm sorry I'm late. I can.
How would you
and then
word
people
it,
sit
Pat? How would you word it?
I would say that if you're not present when when the first petition is read in, if you're not present, then you're to excuse yourself and sit in the audience, something to that extent.
As soon as you start reading that petition, as soon as the chair starts reading the petition, if the full-time member is not here, he or she'll sit in the audience until the next petition starts.
I agree.
Because we can't have a gray area of who's going to sit where at what time and when.
I personally think we should defer this conversation until we have communicated with a legal entity, because there is definitely protections against forced recusal. And I don't want to have to worry about whether or not we're doing something that is considered illegal. So can we make that
Do we
request?
need town council on that, Jillian?
I mean, you certainly can if you feel that it's needed. I think my feeling is that if the chair has appointed an alternate to sit in somebody's absence, then it should be at the discretion of the chair to then
So that doesn't
ask.
qualify as a recusal?
That's not a recusal.
It's not a recusal.
It's not a recusal, the discretion of the
just-
chair. To
Okay.
keep the alternate or let the full-time member sit on the petition. Another thing too is that the respect of the people who came here on time. Okay?
Oh, no, I totally get that.
And that's what I'm saying, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
I was just gonna say, I totally get the respect side of things.
And that's basically, like I said, I didn't know etiquette back then, and I probably should not have stepped in. And I think that if you look at it from the perspective of just out of the respect for the people that are here on time and that are sitting, and things happen. I mean, traffic or whatever,
Yeah.
things happen. People and that people are late. It's human nature. That's fine. It happens. I'm just saying, and that's why I'm not saying if you're not here at 5 of the meeting, you're going to be marked absent. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying is out of the respect for the people that are here, out of respect for the petitioner that has to come and sit down, and it's not easy for all petitioners to sit up and talk, especially if it's a very emotional petition, and we've seen those. And to have and I can tell you that if you're starting a petition and you have an attorney up there, especially some of the and I guarantee you the attorney, because is going to say something to the effect of, is that this person wasn't here when we were sworn in or when it started, and is that going to give them a ground for an appeal because now there's someone else is there? There's just all 1,000 different ways it can go. All I'm just simply saying is if the petition's been read in, first petition's been read in, and you're late because you had to get whatever reason, and it is that you just respectfully sit down, listen, petition's over, come up, and then join the board. That's all that's what I'm saying. How we phrase it, how we word it into the bylaws.
I don't have any issue with that. I think we need to get a legal opinion as to whether we have the capability of doing that.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And so because I don't want, to Rich's point, and Rich brought up a
Right.
really good point. I don't want for it to be considered forced
Right.
recusal. Is that recusal?
All right.
That's
I think,
it.
I think that's an
Patrick,
easy enough thing to
also-
ask.
Also,
agree. I
don't
agree with
forget, you're greeting the public, you've got the Pledge of Allegiance, and you've got the preamble before you start anything right there. So that's, 3 or 4 or 5 minutes into the meeting.
I agree.
I think that if, I personally think, and I agree with Jillian, it's a discretion of the chair to see what's going on. But if people are not comfortable with that, I don't see anything wrong in asking the legal, saying the discretion, what we just discussed now, and this way there won't be no gray area.
If we're not making a decision tonight,
Yeah.
nothing's being written in black and white. It doesn't hurt to ask legal the
I think we
question.
ask.
And see what they say. And whatever legal may come back with, maybe we just say, you know what, it is at the discretion of the chair, or maybe we don't need to put it in there. It's just something I was bringing up. So whether or not we put it in or not, but let's definitely hear what
Does
legal.
does
Mr.
that fall under Robert's
Mr.
Rules of Order?
Councilman here wants to talk.
Not necessarily.
No.
It would fall more under your bylaws than it would be under the rules of order. Because it's how you, it's what you decide you're gonna do to conduct the meeting and make sure the people there. Keep in mind, okay, when you read the section on alternates are only appointed for absence or disqualification. That's what you have in your bylaws. So it doesn't speak to coming in late.
Right.
If
It's
you come in
either,
late,
you're
not
either
absent,
there,
but-
you're either there,
Yeah.
or if you're absent, you're absent, okay? If you get hung up in traffic,
But if you come in late, you're not necessarily absent, and that's why I think we need to get an
Right.
opinion as to
yeah. and-
whether we
and-
have the capability of doing this.
And sort of a way of considering if you really want to pursue this, because there's several other places in here that deals with the absence of the member and the role of the alternate. Okay, so you're gonna have to comb through the whole set of bylaws and make sure that everything lines up, on how you do it, because there could be a member who could take offense at the fact that you're not letting them sit, even though they're appointed to a full membership on the board.
I agree.
And, you know, I've seen that happen, not here, but I've seen it in other places. And, you know, and then what are they gonna do? They're gonna go to this and see what it says, and, well, I wasn't absent, I was late. And this doesn't speak to being late.
So,
I think the other part of it is, you may wanna think about, you're talking about the discretion of the member deciding whether or not they're gonna sit on something, okay? To, you know, come up with some kind of language that might, put that thought in somebody's mind that when you walk in, okay, it's up to you to decide whether or not you're gonna sit there or not. And to, or to recuse because of, they're halfway through it before you show up. Okay?
But shouldn't that be up to the discretion of the chairman and not the member itself? Because a member can
Well-
come in, like you say, you know, almost halfway through and say, okay, I'm gonna sit now.
Pardon?
It could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that too. You know, it's just,
I think it's worth researching
yeah,
to find out what our abilities are to make a determination on this. Because I think Pat's got a reasonable, you know, if you come in a few minutes after they've finished their discussion, I wouldn't expect to sit and make a decision, but we ought to have something laid out there as far as, but maybe if I come in just a few minutes late, or a few minutes before the end of the discussion, maybe as a board member, I'm responsible for doing that. I'd like to know that. I don't know that I necessarily want to do it, but I'd like to know whether that's my responsibility.
Sure. We
Should you
can
re-
make sure we do some research
can you
before we
re-
make a decision.
Can you research that and come back to us at our next meeting?
Sure.
I agree. And I wasn't expecting anything to get written down tonight, I just was opening that up for discussion.
Now, do we need a motion on that?
It's a good discussion item.
Not
So
unless
this
we're
side.
making any final decisions, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, nothing may come of it, I'm kind of just curious how it was something, I had thought about it a couple times, and then actually on the way in, I saw one of Dick Barry's signs. And I'm like, you know, I should probably bring this up, it's always been something in the back of my mind, so,
Doesn't hurt to bring it up.
still remember you, Dick, if you're out there watching. All right, what other, any other questions, anything else up for discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Can I bring up this postcard with my other hat on
What is,
that has
okay.
arrived in my mail today?
Yeah, we got ours today, too.
And I suspect everybody else has gotten one. There are 3 polling sites in town now. Don't assume that because you voted one place 2 years ago, last year, this spring, 6 years ago, that you're gonna vote in the same place. Please check
Okay.
and make sure you're gonna show up at the right place, because I don't wanna have to tell you you're in the wrong place and you have to go someplace else to vote. And if you've changed your address in the past 3 or 4 years and didn't change it on the checklist, it doesn't hurt to make a simple phone call to town hall and ask them where you should show up on September 13th,
Thank you,
or
Lynn.
November.
November 13th, or September 13th.
I'll put my other hat on that,
All right,
You
thank
mean
you.
November 8th and September 13th, isn't it?
September 13th.
I don't remember.
Patrick, are we done with bylaws? We've moved on to discussion.
Yes, we can, I'm sorry. All right, so any other areas of discussion, possible actions? Yes.
One thing, I will not be at the next meeting. I will not even be able to respond to email to say I will not be at the next meeting.
Okay.
You going to Tahiti?
Surgery. So I will be under heavy painkillers. I will not be capable
You're
of
gonna wait
responding.
to
Oh,
France?
And if I do respond to
Yeah,
email, I
now-
apologize for whatever
Sorry,
you
I'm
guys
not
get.
on painkillers, I don't take them.
All
I don't
right,
believe in
all
them.
right, okay. So that's good to
depending
know.
on the case, that might be a blessing.
Yeah.
How long are you gonna be in the hospital, Rich?
Actually, I think I'll be released Wednesday, and it's
No, wait a minute, when are you going in, first of all?
26th. So I believe it's the Monday before the next meeting.
28th is the next meeting.
Yeah,
You all right?
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll be in the hospital till Wednesday, and then Wednesday I'll be leaving and heavily medicated.
So safe to say you should be home by October 1st?
Is that a magic date?
All right. Any other areas of discussion? Jillian, anything?
Nope.
Yep, Tom.
As you know, I've been reappointed to fill the vacancy on the town council, so I'll be resigning. I want to thank you all for your patience and understanding. And although I've only been at 3 meetings, you know,
No, actually,
I
you
don't-
sat in on one.
Well,
yeah, I did, but I
Yeah.
don't, I just don't, there's nothing in the statute that says that I can't do both. I just don't feel right doing both because, you know, the council's the appointing authority and I just, it could turn into a minefield.
So now, I'm just kind of curious, are you there till the
April.
November elections or
April.
April?
Town,
Okay.
it's town election.
Oh, okay, town elections, okay. All right. Well, we're gonna miss you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes,
Can we-
I know you're gonna do well there. You've been there before.
So,
You're a wealth of knowledge on there, so.
You've been there a couple times, so.
does that mean we can require you to fill your own seat since you have the capability to do that?
Yeah, would you, yeah, make sure
I am
we
only
have
one of
someone-
7. I cannot speak for the entire council.
Okay, well, Tom, thank you very much for your service.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions, concerns, thoughts? All right, approval of the minutes of last month's
I
minutes.
move we approve the privilege.
Second?
All in favor? Wait a second, you can't make that motion.
Yes, I can.
You weren't here.
Doesn't
But
matter, I
if
can
she
still
watched
make
the video,
motion.
she-
You can, even though you're absent, you can still make the motion.
Okay. All right, all in favor? See, you guys sure you want me as chair? All in favor? Aye.
Aye,
I,
Abstain?
you're trying to go.
Any, all opposed, all abstained, so
No corrections at all?
no corrections as printed. All right,
Oh,
so,
Zina's gonna love that.
and that was, so who approved? 1, 2, 3,
I
4,
second.
4. Fran seconded,
401.
401. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Dismissed. Everybody, have a great Labor Day weekend. I will see you at the end of September.
Right on.